Okay, guys, we'll start in a minute. Okay. Okay, let's begin. So again, today I'm going to cover a few of these concepts, or let's say topics, which are going to be helpful when you are trying to solve, let's say, Java MCQs in basically InfyTQ, or let's say any exam, right? Any exam. Let's begin. So again, today I'm going to cover, let's see, InfyTQ or any other exam MCQs. Now, again, like if I talk about the InfyTQ pattern, you have like two options. You have two options. You can either go for Python or you can go for, let's say, Java. And let's say you can go for any one of them. And the compulsory part is DBMS. And then there are two coding questions. There are two coding questions. And just to answer them, you have, I guess, 3 hours to answer all of them. So let's say two coding questions can be done in 1 hour. It can be done in 1 hour. Let's say the DBMS section can be done in, let's say, 30 minutes. And let's say Python and Java, like you can choose any one of them. You can choose, let's say, any one of, let's say, them. So again, like up here, what I can say is like Python or Java. So let's say I'm going to talk about Java right now. So again, if you choose any one of them, you'll get 10 questions. And again, let's say you solve this in hardly 30 minutes, right? 3 minutes each. So you literally have, let's say, 1 hour, 2 hours done. You have 2 hours done. Now you have 1 hour left. You have 1 hour left. And in that 1 hour, you can utilize this time to do any revision or let's say do any stuff here. Okay. So let's begin. Let's begin. Let's begin. Okay, so I'm gonna begin with the very first topic here. One that I can think of right now is, let's say, start with the basics. So let's say I'm gonna give you one task that, okay, you have to, let's say, create an object of, let's say, type. Basically, this is my class type of type, let's say sleep, or not sleep, but let's say slow. Slow is the type, and you have to create an object. So there are few of these options: the first option, second option, third options, and let's say the fourth option. First option says that, okay, you can create the object obj1 in this way. Obj1 will be basically slow of basically class. That's it. The second way can be as simple as obj1, and we'll be having, let's say, class slow. The third option can be, let's say, obj1, and it's going to be, let's say, class slow, but there are some brackets here. And the fourth option can be, let's say, all of the above, all of the above. So which one do you think will be correct? These are four options. You can like think for say 10 to 15 seconds. This is a very basic stuff here. So which one do you think will be correct here? So again, up here again, it's going to be third one here, because this is not a correct way. This is not a correct way. And again, all of the above won't be any one of them, because yes, exactly, exactly. So hi, Lakshmi. Yes, Lakshmi gave the right answer. So it's going to be third one. Okay, great. OBJ1 is class of slow. Great. I think you guys are following. Okay. Let's move on to another one. What I'll do is, let's say I will, instead of erasing this, I'll just go a little bit down and let's hop on to the second one. So again, let's say I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you a few of these things here. Class, number one. Number two is, let's say, function. Number three option, we have, let's say, method. Number four, we have, let's say, constructor. Okay. So these are the few options I've given you: class, function, method, constructor. Now I'm asking, out of these, if I tell you that, okay, which one can be used, can be used to, let's say, initialize, which one can be used to, let's say, initialize the attributes of an object. That's it. So in this case, we just have to answer like, okay, which one can be used to initialize the attributes of an object. So again, which one do you think will be um, a better approach? So let's say you might be like, what are the values? So let's say I'm going to talk about the default values. Default values. So basically, I'm asking that out of all of these, which one can be used to initialize the attributes of an object using default values? That's it. So which one do you think will be correct? Class, function, method, constructor. Let's say fifth one can be as simple as nota, which is none of the above. So which one do you think will be correct? Okay. Um, Again, you can think of this. Okay, think of this. I'll just hop on to the next question. Sai Lakshmi is saying number one. Radhika is saying number one. Okay, great, great, great. So you all are saying number one, right? I mean, can I use constructor, by the way? Can I use constructor? I mean, function and method are automatically removed because I'm dealing with, let's say, object and using default values. So function and method are automatically removed. I mean, the option is gone. Yes, Avula, you are correct. Correct, correct, correct. Constructor. Yes, correct. Yes, constructor will be the answer. Okay, 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 okay. Let's hop on to the other one. So let's say, since I've discussed this, so you guys will be able to understand this. So let's say I'm gonna discuss, or let's say I'm gonna create an object of a class. So which of these keywords I can use? Like, this is a very simple one, but again, this is something like most of the candidates go wrong. So the very first option is new in this way. So maybe I can just write it again, new. Second one is new. Third one is new. And fourth one is, let's say, all of the above. Like, all of the above are valid. All of the above are valid. So I'm going to write all of the above. Yes. So which one will be correct? Let me hop on to YouTube live. Yes. Okay, I guess some guy was saying, right now it's not there, but like some guy was saying, can I ask one question? Yes. Yes, you can. You can. Like, let's say in the last 15 or 10 minutes, we can go with that. We got one answer as, let's say, number one, which is, I'll say, incorrect. We got one answer as number two, which is actually correct. So my answer will be new and small. No, three won't be it. Three won't be the answer here. Answer will be literally, let's say, small new. So it's going to be small in small caps. I mean, in small. Sorry. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Okay. So this was a very basic stuff here. So let's move on. Let's move on to something which is kind of challenging, but again, On the other hand, it's a little trickier. Okay. So I'm going to write some of these stuff here. I'm going to write some of these terms, or let's say I'm going to write some of these keywords. So let's say the keywords are as follows. Number one, we have default. So this is going to be default. Let me write that again. Default. The second one I can think of is, let's say, private. Third one can be as simple as public. Fourth one can be as simple as protected, protected and not protect. It's protected. And let's say fifth one can be as simple as, let's say, nota, right? So out of all of these, which cannot be, or let's say which is not, which is not an access modifier. Access, I hope you all know about access modifiers. Which of this is not an access modifier in Java? I'm talking about specifically Java. So which one of them is not an access modifier in Java? So can you tell me, like, which one of these options will be correct? Default, private, public, protected, and nota, which is basically, this is none of the above, by the way, none of the above. So which one of these options do you think will be correct? I'll go to the chat and let's see what do we have. Okay, Sarayu got the right answer. Thamil also got the right answer. Alan, no, it won't be, I guess, one. No, it won't be one. Default can be used. Definitely default can be used. We can Google it. Now, again, I can go over all of these, but again, I'm here to discuss the MCQs, right? So, yes, Thamil and Sarayu, you are correct. Alan, again, it will be nota, which is none of the above, because all of these stuff are access modifiers. I mean, this is access modifier in Java. I hope that makes sense. Okay. I see you guys know about it. Okay, great. So let's hop on to another one. Let's think of something. So let's say I am a programmer, or let's say I am a user here. I am a user, and I want to implement a method, or let's say function. Implement a method or a function, which is, again, like let me just write it clearly, which is going to compute some task, compute some task. Notice carefully, compute some task, but the function, or let's say the method, is not going to return anything. Is not going to return anything. Then in this case, return anything. So in this case, which one of these, let's say, terms can be used? Okay, or which one of these return types can be used? I'll write the return types here: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's say my fourth option can be nota, which is none of the above. And let's say third option can be void. First option can be float. Let's say second option can be integer. So which one should I use here? So basically, you can read it again. Implement. So basically, I am a user. So I am a user, and I'm going to implement a method or function which is going to compute some task, but the function or method is not going to return anything. That's it. So which one do you think will be correct here? Exactly. So you guys know the point, right? Like, if it's going to return, let's say, an integer value, it's going to be int. If it's going to return a float value, it's going to be float. But let's say it's not going to return anything, then definitely it will be void. So this is what my correct answer is. Yes, you guys know this. Okay. Yes, Tarun, Alan, and Sarayu. Yes, you're correct. Yes, Tamil. Yes, you're correct. I mean, don't write void. I am asking the option. So again, okay, if you have written void, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. But like, type in three, like the rest of the ones are doing. Okay. So on that note, let's hop on to the other one. So let's say I'm gonna write X is basically, let's say, so X is, let's say, I'm gonna write like this. So X has a name which is same as the class name. So I've written X has a name which is same as the class name, and also it's given that X is a method. So on that note, can you tell me what is X? What is X? Again, the options are as follows: one, two, three. Again, I can have many options. First option says it's going to be the final keyword, which is, I think so, you all know about it. Second one can be as simple as constructor. Third option can be as simple as function. And let's say fourth option can be as simple as object. And fifth one is going to be nota. So again, X has a name which is same as the class name, very important. And second one says that, okay, X is also a method. So which one do you think will be correct here? Basic question, right? Basic question. Okay, okay, yes. Tamil Arasan is saying function. Okay, but you have to be more specific. Like, okay, you are saying function. Tamil is saying function. So Tamil is saying function. This is what Tamil's choice is. But again, you have to be more specific. Like, so I'll tell you, like constructor will be the correct answer here, and like function won't be the, so final, function, object, and none of the above won't be the answer. Constructor will be the answer, because like even if you like go for a Google definition of constructor, or even I think so if you have learned in college, the very first thing you will see that, like even in the books it's written that constructor is a method which is having the same name as the, let's say, class name. This is the very first thing you will see. It's the very first thing you will see about constructor whenever you go about learning it. I hope it's clear. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. What I'll do is, let's say I'll get rid of this entire stuff, clear canvas, and let's begin. So let's say again, I'm gonna write something like public. So I'm gonna write a piece of code here. I'm gonna write a piece of code here. So let's say this is what my code is. Public class, let's say hello world. Very simple it's a very simple program, yet trickier. So I'll write here public static, let's say void main string args, string, let's say, I'm gonna write args here. So I'll write these brackets and then the args. And I'll say here, notice carefully, I'm writing string s1. S1 is literally new string, new string 10. Okay, new string, and 10 is written. Like, this is simple stuff here, but again, 10 is written. And then let's say I'm gonna give you system dot out dot println, and I'll write, let's say, s1 plus 10, or instead of 10 s1, I'll write 10 plus s1, 10 plus s1. So on that note, can you like tell me what will be the output here in this case? What will be the output? So I'm asking the output. What will be the output here? I'll write here itself. We can have the answers coming in the chat. Again, they can be correct or they might be wrong. It's completely correct. We are here to learn, right? So I hope my voice is clear. Yes, it's clear enough. Okay, Shanmukhi, you got one answer. Okay. Do we have any other answers apart from Shanmukhi? Okay, Sarayu has also got one answer. Okay, yes, keep them coming, keep them coming. Yes, this is the answer 1010. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So like up here, what I'll do is I'll just modify the code here. I'll just modify the code here a little bit, not that much. So let's say instead of 10 here, we have something like this. We have something like this. So let's say we have 2, but notice carefully we have 2 in like let's say these quotes, right? 2 plus 1 is there, plus 1 is there, and let's say I'm gonna write this, and then I'll write here, let's say 10 plus s1 itself. Then what will be the output in this case? Can we have the answers coming in? Alan is saying let's say 10, but no, 10 is not going to be the answer. Alan is saying let's say 10. No, that's not the answer. Okay, so initially when I look at this question, the very first thing comes to my mind that okay, 2 and 1 is there, so again this can be an error, right? Because this is string, this is integer, but no, that won't be an error. That won't be an error. My output for this one will be, again, here it will be 1, 0, 2, 1. That's it. This is what my output will be. Again, like you can just go for, let's say, go to an online compiler and try to execute this. So it's going to work completely fine. Okay, 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 no problem. Let's move on to the other question. I mean, let's modify this a little bit. Instead of all of these, I'll say, let's say string s1 is equivalent to, let's say, ampere, ampere. Okay, and let's say string s2 is, let's say, cat. Very simple enough. So I'll say here that okay, system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println, or let's say even I can just simply write print. I'll write, notice carefully, s2 dot index of, let's say, a. Then in this case, what will be the answer? Basic stuff. This is not really complex. Yes, correct. Answer will be one, because like let's say it's a basic function. Dot index of says, please give me the index of this character in this string s2. So it's gonna give me a. Okay, what if I have something like this? What if I have something like this? CATA, kata. Then in that case, what will be the output here? What will be the output here? Okay, we got one answer, 3. Hmm. Yes. Sarayu is, I guess Sarayu is pro in this. Yes, correct. So in this case, like let's say it's kata, then definitely you might be like, okay, so it's going to be returning with the very first, let's say, occurrence of this character A. No. It's going to return the very last occurrence. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. And that's what Sarayu even said, right? So that's great. That's great. And he's also providing with the explanation. So it's going to be helpful for even someone who is watching. Okay. So let's get rid of this and let's try to modify this question a little bit. Instead of kata, I'll just have cat. And let's just modify this a little bit. 1 second. Yes. So system.print. I'll write some stuff here. 1 second. Let's think of something. Let's say s2 dot index of. Let's say I'm gonna write here s1. Notice carefully s1 dot char at 4. That's it. This is what my expression is. So I hope you all know about what char at is. So to understand this problem, you have to understand, let's say, what index of is, and let's say what char at is. So you have to be understanding this. Then you will be able to, let's say, do this. So can you tell me right now, like this is cat, right? This is cat. That's it. Okay, I'll tell you what's going to happen. So literally up here s1 dot char at 4, right? So if I do the indexing here, that's 0. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at the fourth index, I see 0, 1, 2, 3, fourth index, I have r. So s1 dot char at is going to give me small r, which is basically a character. Then I'm saying s2 dot index of this small r. So like s2 is right here, and in this cat, I'm seeing that, okay, there is nothing as such. Yes, Shanmuki, yes, you're correct. There's nothing as such, let's say small r. So when there's no character, okay, so whenever there's a character, it will return the last occurrence of it. Else, if there's no character, it's going to return -1. It's going to return -1. That's it. Very, very important thing to keep in mind. This is the most important stuff right here. I hope this is kind of clear right now. Okay, let's change this a little bit. I'm gonna have, let's say, string s2 ampere. I'll have that same stuff, but I'm gonna modify this a little bit. So let's say s2 is still the same, cat, and let's say s1 is still ampere. It's taken two random names, and let's say I'll say system dot out dot print, not println, just simply taking or simplifying stuff here. Now I'll say s2 dot index of, let's say let's say s2 dot char at char at, I don't know, like it's going to be, let's say, e, not e, but like let's say 3. That's it. So in this case, what will be the output? Like, again, this is something which Sarayu mentioned, but let's see how many of you guys were able to interpret this. So again, I can see that, I mean, this is pretty much it. System.print s2 dot index of s2 dot char at 3. What will be the output? I'm dealing with s2, by the way, not s1. So I hope you can see that. Can we have quick answers coming in? Okay, Shanmukhi is saying error. I'll see to that why. So Shanmukhi is saying there would be no error. Tell me which kind of an error? Runtime error, or let's say compile time error? Which one? Okay, Avula is saying compile time error. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. Do we have any answers from Sarayu? Sarayu and Avula are kind of active in this thing, so let's focus on them. Compile time error is going to be correct here. That's it. Okay, no issues. Let's change this a little bit. Let's only SOPLN. So I hope you will be able to figure that out. Cat, again, this will be cat. No issues on that part. I'll write system.out.println. So I'm just writing SOPLN. In the question, this won't be as such given. It will be given in full. So right now I'm going to write something like this: s1 dot substring dot index of, let's say it's going to be, again, this is going to be capital O and F, right? So not really small f, I mean not really small o. Index of, let's say, s1 dot char at 0, right? Char at 0, and then comma 6. So maybe I can just shift down a little bit here. 1 second, I'll just shift this stuff here. Yes, this is completely fine. Comma 6, and that's going to wrap up. So what will be the output in this case? Let's have some answers coming in. S1.substring, S2.index of, S1.caret, this bracket closes here for this one, and this bracket closes here for, let's say, okay, so this is closing for this one, this is closing for this one, and this one is closing for this one. That's it. By the way, this is S1.caret 0, right? So please be careful of that. What will be the output in this case? S1 is ampere, S2 is cat, and that's it. Okay, I'm not seeing any answers coming. So what I'll do is I'll just write the answer and I'll tell you what's happening. I'll tell you what's happening. So right now, if you can see completely, like if you can see clearly, we have something like I'm not going to start solving from the very beginning. I'll try to solve it in small parts here. Okay, I'll try to solve in small parts. I'll say S1 dot char at 0. So what is the character at 0? A. So this entire stuff becomes character A. Now give me 0 and 1. So this is at 1. So this entire stuff becomes 1, but this is an integer value, right? 1 is basically an integer value. I'm saying S1 dot substring basically 1 comma 6. That's it, substring of 1 comma 6. 6 is here. I hope you can see that. On that note, can I not say, like if I'm writing S1 dot, let's say substring 1 comma 6, 1 comma 6 should be 1 comma 6. Then on that note, what I'll say is I'll pick the elements or the values in S1, literally in S1, at the following indexes. So I'll begin from 1, I'll continue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, you see that 6 is there, so I won't take 6 here. No, 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 I won't take 6. You might be like, yes, I'll take 6. No, you won't take 6. So you're going to go exclusive of 6, or you'll say inclusive of 6 minus 1, which is 5. So these are the values which you'll be accessing. So in this case, what are the indices? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say 5. So in this case, basically I'll be printing M-P-E-R-E, M-P-E-R-E. There's gonna be M-P-E-R-E. That's it. This is what my output will be from this ampere stuff. So again, this is a very basic stuff here, but again, you have to be clear with this. Okay, so right now let's move on to the other one. Let's say, let's say in this case, I'm going to write ampere. Again, this will be ampere, and let's say it's going to be uh, cats, but with a lot of them. So I'm going to write ampere, and let's say up here I have, let's say cat. Yeah, this is what this is. So again, if I am saying that, let's say I'm going to write something like S1 dot compare, right? I'm going to write compare to, in this case, I'll write S2. Then what am I going to get? Like, what will be the output here? That's what my question is. Ampere and cat is there, like literally ampere and cat is given. S1 is ampere, S2 is cata, and then you have to like simply determine what will be the output in this case. Um, I Sarayu, I know for a fact, yes, compared to checks equality, but again, I see ampere and kata are different, right? S1 dot compared to S2. So S1 and S2 is both different, ampere and kata. So it's not going to be equal. Equal is not what my answer will be. No. I'll tell you what my answer will be. In this case, my answer will be basically an integer. So on that note, can you tell me what will be the answer? Okay, Alan, can you explain me why your answer is negative 1? Alan is saying answer is negative 1, but why is it negative 1? Why? Answer won't be negative 1, I'll tell you. Answer won't be negative 1. Okay, so you might be like, Alan might be like that since both of them are not equal, so answer is negative 1. Else if it's equal, answer is 1. This is what Alan might be thinking. No, that's not what the answer will be. I'll tell you, the answer here will be, I guess, negative 2. Very important. The answer here will be negative 2, and I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, look at this. So right now I can see that since like S1 and S2 are not equal, I can see from these representation ampere and kata. I see at first internally I'll be comparing A with C. A and C will be compared. Now I see at the very beginning itself A and C are not equal. A is, let's say, not equivalent to C. So what can I do? Should I simply return -1? Dot compare to never does that. I'll tell you what dot compare to does. So it will see here that, okay, since A was not equivalent to C, then what I'll say is, I mean, dot compare to will say that, okay, I'm going to return the difference by which it is not equal. The difference by which it's not equal. So in this case, what's the difference? Like A, B, and C. So it's going to differ by, let's say, two places. Two places. So my answer is -2. That's it. So what if I had something like this? What if I had something like this? Let's say my string was something like this. Um, yes, I know, Alan. That's what you were thinking. Like it should be -1. No, I'll tell you what it will be. So let's say I had some string like A, B, C, and let's say I had something like I don't know, like it can be as simple as B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So right now, let's say this is literally D, B, C. Then what will be the output in this case? Can you tell me the output in this case right now? Again, I've explained here why it's -2, because I can see like if I jump two places, 1 and 2, then I reach C. Since I jump two places and they're not equal, so -2. Sarai is saying -3. Okay. So for C, you can see I have to jump two places to reach C. 1, 2. Since two places I have to jump, answer is -2. So if it's A, B, C, and D, this is what this is, right? Like A to let's say D. So for this one, it will be one places, two places, three places, and the answer will be -3. That's it. Yes, correct. So will be -3. Great, Sarayu. Yes, correct. So let's move on. What if I write something like this? Let's say we have B, A, and let's say we have A and C. In this case, what will be the output? Be careful, like what I have said. Please be careful. Okay, let me open up chat and let's see what do we have here. Okay, 1. Yes. Correct. Answer will be 1 in this case. Yes, correct. The reason being, again, B, A, and let's say A and C, I compare the very first two stuff. I see in this timeline, literally B is in front. So I'll go back one place and I'll say answer will be 1. So if I'm moving back one place, I won't say like the answer will be negative in terms of negative. No, that's completely wrong. It will be 1 in this case. That's it. Okay. Okay. Now, what if I say this is literally, let's say B and A. In that case, what would be the answer? See, in most of the cases, I'll tell you like, if something is returning 0, then it's negative or false, right? But will this really return 0 or will it return something else? I'll open up the chat here to see if someone has responded. Use. Yes, exactly. Like you're saying 0, right? And again, the reason being, you might be like, okay, S1 dot compared to S2 will throw me 1 because both of them are equal, or will throw me true. No, since I've explained earlier as well, just compare the very first two values. I know these are equal. So take in P and B and you see, so from B, you don't even have to jump any places. So you are at literally at B. So how many places you have to jump? 0 places. That's it. 0 is my answer. So this is how you can go about solving this dot compare to stuff here. Okay. Okay, great, great, great. Let's say I'm gonna remove all of these, and let's say we're gonna hop on to the very last question or the very last few questions. No issues on that part. So in this case, let's say I'm gonna write a class instead of these all of these stuff. I'll write a class. Code is given, right? So code will be given here. So let's say I'm gonna write class test, right? And then here I'll write something like protected int x comma y. That's it. And here I'll say that, okay, class main is here. And I'll say public static void main. Again, as we write string args, right? And then here I'll say, I'm just creating an object here, right? Test, right? I'm creating an object here. Test T is going to be, let's say, new test. That's it. And I'll say system.out.println or print any one of those stuff. I'll say t.x plus space t dot y. So in this case, can you tell me like what will be the output here? So very basic stuff here. Not yes, yes, yes. Uh, Chawali, yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. No issues. I'll do that. I'll take it. I'll take it into my note. Gayatri, I cannot understand your question. Like, can you please clarify it a little bit more? Okay, leave every stuff here. Like, can you tell me what will be the output here? Okay, so many might say that this will be an error. No issues if you're not responding. So many might say that, okay, this might be an error, but no, this won't be an error. The reason being that, okay, in Java, basically in Java, let's say this protected member, right? I've used a protected, which is basically an access modifier, if you remember. So it's kind of accessible. It's kind of, let's say, accessible or available. Let's say in all classes, it's going to be accessible in or available in all the classes of literally of the same package, if I'm not wrong. So both of them are available under the same package, and hence there won't be any conflict. Now, again, I'll see that, okay, all of these values int and x are not provided any values. Then what will the output here? Will it be some random garbage value? No, 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 no. I'll tell you what will be the output. By default, the default constructor is going to initialize these variables with the value 0. Very important. This is very important with respect to MCQs. By default, these values will be 0. And hence, I'll say, since these values are 0, so t.x is going to give me 0, t.y is going to give me 0, and there's a space. So answer will be 0, space 0. So literally, there's a space here in between and 0. That's what my answer will be. I hope this is clear right now, okay? Okay, great. So let me think of another one. So let's say I have something like this. Let's say I have class main. Class main is there. Then we have, let's say, public static void main. Public static void main. Again, string args is given inside of this. String args. Basic skeleton which we all follow, right? String args. Notice carefully what I'm writing. Please notice carefully. I'm writing system.out, system.out.parent or println. You can write any one of these stuff. I'm writing funny. I'm writing funny, and let's say I'll close this and I'll write int of funny, right? And up here I'll say return 65. So what will be the output in this case? What will be the output in this case? Can you tell me? This is what my code block is. This is what my code block is. So what will be the output in this case? Output. This is the very last question, and then we can wrap up. Okay, Rakesh is saying 65. Rakesh is saying 65. So again, 65 won't be the answer here. I'll tell you 65 won't be the answer. Okay, so this seems a very simple problem. System.out.println, calling the funny function, it's returning 65, and you might be like, okay, this will be returning me 65.